Hi ladies, my name is Ayala Tashachar, and Patsy Sampson asked me to share a few tips that I've learned from various LinkedIn webinars and workshops that I've gone to share with you. So as a creative, the question comes up, why do I need a LinkedIn profile? And really, you need to not associate LinkedIn as only for people with business suits or salespeople, but LinkedIn is this platform that connects you to a global audience. And as a professional, whether you're a creative, a scientist, or a salesperson, LinkedIn is a tool that is such a great resource for you to one of at least three things that you can improve your knowledge by learning from other professionals in your field and all the content that they produce. Or you can also expand your networking of just other, again, working professionals and get referrals and also give referrals. And lastly, also, it helps with sales. So if you are someone who's needing to sell your business or your services, then LinkedIn is definitely a place to do that. So you need to learn to reprogram your view of LinkedIn. If right now you think it's only for people in business suits, or it's only for salespeople, or it's just a virtual water cooler where people schmooze, about work stuff. LinkedIn is much more than that. And so just a little facts to help you understand LinkedIn's value. LinkedIn has over 610 million registered users worldwide. And the really amazing thing is that 70% of those users are outside of the US. So if you are on LinkedIn, you're immediately connected with this global audience of people that you can learn from, that you can help and support and provide your own professional knowledge, and also that you can connect and network with, and also potentially share your services with. And you can also find other great service providers too on LinkedIn. So it's a really valuable platform. Now, a lot of people say, okay, well, I have a page, but I really don't do anything with it, or I don't know how to use LinkedIn. So this is what I want to do. I want to go through real fast and show you what it is to have an optimized page, and then talk a little bit about how to go about utilizing LinkedIn as a tool. So first off, on your profile, you want to make sure that you have your profile optimized, because LinkedIn kind of gives you a grade, and if your profile is considered complete, then you will get 5 times more views than a profile that's just half completed and you're not active. So it's really important to make sure you complete all the sections. So let's go through real fast. I have taken the lovely Dina Ackerman's profile because she has a nice completed page, and as a creative, she's a good example for other creatives. So first off, you have this banner. If you don't do anything here, LinkedIn has just a generic blue background. But really, this is valuable real estate. And Dina has used it for displaying some of her art. It's one style. Now, you can do a lot of things here. There's lots of ideas. You can Google, examples of banners for LinkedIn. The only thing I would also do here is I would put a layover of either her website or a link to her portfolio. I think this happens to be one and the same for her, or her email, something that gives people a call to action without being too pushy. Or alternatively, you can also put value of what you bring. So if you do website design, then you might say who you focus on. Or the value, what's unique about your website design versus someone else's, what is the unique selling point that you bring, and put that as a slogan. And another example, he's not a creative per se, but he's a salesperson, and he's actually Tal Papper, and he's the person that here we go, sorry, he's the person, it took him away, 1 second. He's a LinkedIn guru, very, very good, and he gave a workshop not too long ago that I attended. So some of these ideas come from him, and some of them come from another person's online workshop. But you see here in his banner profile, he immediately stated what value he brings, your gateway to global markets, and then he puts his website there. So he's already, giving valuable information about who he is. So it's another idea. And then we go on to the profile picture. A lot of people leave this blank. I see in the Froom community, though, a lot of people usually do this one pretty well. Not everyone does. But you need to make sure you have a photo, a professional photo. It's not you with your buddies. And just make sure it's a good, clean headshot. You just need a solid background. And, someone with a good phone camera is really sufficient, and you have good lighting. That should be good. But make sure you have that photo. I know in the Froom community, though, some people are hesitant to include their photo and instead put an avatar. I would encourage it to be as close to your likeness as possible. But really just to, that's a personal decision for you, you're Rav, but, LinkedIn is a professional website, and you do business with real people, and generally people like to see the person they're going to be doing, possibly business with. So it's something to consider, but again, it's a personal decision, but something professional does need to be put in the photo section. And then your name, underneath your name is the headline, and the headline is where you want to actually include, again, value and tell people who you are. And so instead of putting like what your current position is, UX designer or something like that, which you can put, another alternative to consider is to put the value, the different strengths of what you bring. So for Dina, she put fine artist, illustrator, writer, teacher. That gives us a broad idea of who she is and what value she can bring to us. And the importance of this section is that it will appear with your profile image and name on anybody's search results. So somebody's on LinkedIn and they're looking for, an illustrator, they're going to type it in, and other information also is going to, determine the algorithm of what pops up. But if your name pops up, it's also going to have that underneath. And so you want it to be compelling to other people to communicate why you would be a good fit for their search. So it's important to remember you actually have quite a bit of room here. You have around, I think, 150 characters. So you can actually include a lot more than this. If you look at Tal's example here, he lists out several things that he does. So you can really expand this. So, again, this is real estate to help let people know what value you bring. So use that. Okay, moving on. You have what's called the summary. And the summary is the part for you to be a little more personal and for you to really just present yourself, who you are. This is where you can put the why you do what you do, what's your motivation. This is where you can share some of your accomplishments. This is where you want to brag a little bit. I really like how Tal put it, though. He said, tell, don't sell. So you don't have to really come across as someone just, saying everything wonderful and amazing, but at the same time, this is the place where you can just share what's unique about you as a professional. Maybe you've had some really large clients. Maybe you've had some really interesting clients, or you've been a presenter at different conferences, or you've had your work featured in unique publications. This is the place to put that, along with who you are. And again, the summary section can be very lengthy. And especially for creatives, I highly recommend, like Dina has here, that you include samples of your art. You're, very visual. So this is the place, and they allow it for not only images, but video as well. So you can actually even go a lot more in depth. And just to give you an idea of how long it can be, if you take a look at Tal's, his is very long. So you can actually include quite a bit. Now he kind of lists his out more like in a bullet pointed list, and you can do that, but I've seen people do it in paragraphs. Just make sure you break it up so it's easy for people to scan. And then he includes a couple of videos that he's done, and he's included some links that are important for him to highlight. So make sure you fill out the summary. And admittedly, I actually have to do that for my own profile too. So then these are just information that LinkedIn generates of your activity. And then it goes into your experience. Now this is basically like your CV. You include everything that you've done that's relevant that you want to highlight. And my only tip would be if you worked for a company that has a LinkedIn company page, make sure you select that company so it generates. You can see this on, in some companies may not have a LinkedIn page, and you're going to have just this generic image. But one of the reasons for doing this, like KSW, these have company pages, so it connects it to it. LinkedIn will automatically connect your profile with that company, even if it's a company you've worked for in the past, but that it will generate recommendations. It will generate, for when people are searching, it will show that. And so it's important for the algorithm and for your visibility that you make sure you select the right company if you have worked for someone who has a company page on LinkedIn. So otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. You can just fill it out. Skills and endorsements. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily look at this for hiring you, but the reason it's important to make sure you include all the skills that you have is because, again, for the mighty algorithm of LinkedIn, so that, again, when people are looking for a professional with X skills and abilities, LinkedIn is going to scan, profiles that have those listed. So you want to make sure you list as many as you can. There is a limit, but I think it's fairly high, like 20 or 30. So make sure you fill that out. And then other people will endorse you, and that just adds credibility to your own abilities. Now, also recommendations. These are important because, like, for a website or a product, testimonies are so valuable. And so if you have recommendations from others who can vouch for your services or your skills or just who you are as a person, that just adds credibility to who you are. So here you can actually, right here it says ask for a recommendation, or you can recommend Dina. And so on your own profile, you can connect with other people that you are connected to on LinkedIn and send them a quick request that says, hey, will you recommend me? Now you get to read it and approve it before it gets added to your profile. So don't worry if there's something that comes through that you're not sure you want posted, you don't have to approve it. But you can also recommend people as well. So that's also, of course, always professionally kind. And then interest is really not as important. But that basically is the profile. If you have education, you can include that, again, because of the algorithm. It might recommend other people who've gone to that school. It helps give you more visibility. And you can see he has skills and endorsements. He has his recommendations and accomplishments. I knew there was one more area. Accomplishments, again, this is where you can kind of toot your own horn. So if you've been published in magazines or any type of publication, you can include that there. Your languages, anything else that's kind of unique for you. Again, include that here because, again, it helps the algorithm provide better recommendations for you, and when people are searching for something that you would be a good candidate for. So that's basically makes the complete LinkedIn profile. And so once you've got that done, then the next thing to do is to be active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is social. It's a social platform. So you have to be, giving and taking. The LinkedIn recommends that you post at least 3 times a week. That might sound a lot for some of you. But if you just set aside 15, 20 minutes 3 times a week, and you go on there and you can search for interesting articles, content, you can search for other people in the same field as you. And if you just start looking and reading their information, then you can engage with them. You can like it. You can share that on your own post. You can comment and put your perspective or feedback. And that is engaging. And people will start seeing that, and they'll start noticing you coming up in their feeds. And that's a way to start a conversation with them. And so there's a lot more you can do, but I think I'm about to reach my time limit for the video. So I just want to give you just those few tips for completing your profile and getting started with being active on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me through LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help you as I can. I'm still learning on my own as well, but I've really seen value myself in professionally. I've learned so much. I've connected with other people here in Israel in the field that I work in, and you know, it's been very valuable tool for me personally, and I hope it'll be something that can also bring value for yourself. All right, thank you so much.